In Earth's early days, only single-celled and simple multicellular life thrived. This lasted a few billion years. That is until the beginning of the Cambrian period, which saw an explosion in the amount of life on Earth. We call it the Cambrian Explosion, and it's one of the most important events in the history of life. The Cambrian explosion refers to a huge increase in biodiversity that took place over roughly 20 million years and began around 540 million years ago. Prior to the Cambrian, most organisms were single-celled creatures and larger multicellular animals that were basically just blobs, fronds, mats of microbial colonies or simple animals like jellyfish. But by the end of the Cambrian, almost all modern animal phyla had appeared. With a few exceptions, including bryozoans, Nemertea, or ribbon worms, and platyhelminthes, aka flatworms. What's really mind-blowing about this event is just how quickly it happened. 20 million years might sound like a long time, but it's actually quite quick when it comes to timescales in geology. For reference, the entire Precambrian, which is the span of time before the Cambrian, lasted for more than 4 billion years. In just a fraction of that time, the planet saw a massive diversification of life forms. Even more shocking is that the fossil record shows that most of these new phyla appearing at the beginning of the Cambrian were already complex organisms. They didn't look like the single-celled creatures that scientists once assumed must have been their ancestors. Instead, it's like they just showed up fully formed. And because of this, the early ideas about how the Cambrian explosion happened were basically just, well, we don't know. Such a huge evolutionary leap in such a short amount of time is perplexing. But over the last few decades, researchers have come up with some pretty good hypotheses. One of the most popular ones is that the reason for this explosion was an increase in atmospheric oxygen. This hypothesis is supported by geochemical evidence of rising oxygen, biological oxygen requirements of animals, and the timing correlation of oxygen rise and large multicellular life. Research has shown that the rise in oxygen started hundreds of millions of years before the Cambrian and then leveled off during it. A rise in marine algae and cyanobacteria caused more oxygen to be released into the oceans and eventually the atmosphere. This, along with increased burial of organic carbon, decline of reducing gases from volcanoes, supercontinent breakup, and nutrient weathering all pushed Earth's oxygen levels much higher than previously. The increased oxygen levels allowed for the development of hard body parts like shells and skeletons. It also allowed for the evolution of larger bodies and the development of more complex sensory systems, leading to the evolution of larger brains. And these larger brains could have allowed for the evolution of more complex behaviors, which would have driven the need for even larger bodies, leading to an ever-escalating positive feedback loop. The Cambrian explosion forever changed our planet. It set the stage for the ecological interactions between species that shaped the world we live in today. And without it, we may not be around to appreciate the beauty of a blue whale or a panda bear, or, a sponge. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more prehistoric content.